guys, welcome back. So this is all painted up, looking real nice here. So we're going to go ahead and put our bolts through. And get these set up first. These need to be tightened up first. So you can see this one will be on the driver's side. Then when I tighten them down, I'm gonna hold it all the way going forward, because there is a little bit of a movement there. These will look, I think, much nicer than their setup, and I think it's a lot more stronger, I do believe, too. I could be wrong, but I was looking at their setup, and they had these holes were way big to where you're able to adjust, to adjust it back and forth. And this is to me, a little more precise. And then these holes should always fit the whatever A-arms or whatever I get. I do a lot of research before I buy this stuff. And on this particular setup, people will have like a different type of A-arms or whatever, and even the stock version doesn't fit, and they always have to modify the bracket. So that's why I decided on that's why I just decided to go with the bracket that I already have, and or make my own little bracket and use their small brackets. So since I don't have a welder, that's why I decided to use something like that. Because if I had a welder, I'd just build me, my own little bracket. But all right. Anyway, let me just get these tightened up. So now I already jacked up the car. So you want to jack it up, and just enough to get the suspension kind of unbound. For one, these frames, they twist, especially on the convertibles. And they have what they call frame sag. Is that what I do believe they're called? Well, anyway, and also if you jack up the tire, and when you take off these bolts, the shims won't slide out, in theory. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those bolts out. I got my little metal spacers. I'm going to replace them, with that, and then put my bracket on top of it. So unfortunately, I can't get my camera to sit and take video of it while I do it. It's just kind of in an odd spot. So, but it's pretty straightforward, and that's what we're going to do. And like I said, you need to have the front end jacked up, because the frame now is it's not pinching in between the wheels, kind of pinching it in. So when you put the bar across, your bar's going to have you can get your tension all the way up, to that, to your A-arms there. And that way, when you set it down, in theory, like I said, it should tighten up as you set it down and make it a little more sturdy. All right, I'm going to take those bolts off and go from there. Okay, so now you can see I put the spacers in there, and see how these spacers here for your camber and whatever it's called. I'm having a hard time thinking today. Well, anyways, those didn't pop out or move, so that's one of the reasons you move it up or jack it up, is that way the tension's there to hold it in place. And now I'll put that bracket on. Let's see, which one is it? It's this one. So this bracket. So now this bracket goes right on there like that. That looks pretty good, huh? All right, and then I'll just put, I got some new bolts. So I got some new bolts, and I'm going to put some locking washers on on it too. And then you're supposed to torque it down to 55 foot-pounds. So now we'll do that, and then we'll do the other side, and then we'll put the bar in and then set it down and see if it, you know, has any tension to it when I actually just set it down. So, all right. Anyway, let's get this little bracket on. All right. All torqued down. So it's looking pretty good. Let's put in that bar and then adjust it, you know, to where there's no slack. Just, you know, you just want to kind of hand tighten it. That's basically all you can do with this one anyway, because I don't have a you know, what do you call it, like a wrench adjustment. So anyway, we'll put that in. Oh, and as one note too, if I didn't need the spacers, they will sit flush without the spacers, but I think it just, for me, I needed the spacer because look at how much space is really in between those bolts. So I just kind of wanted to make sure that, you know, it wasn't binding up against those bolts and pushing, like, you know, and bending the C-clamp, you know, when you torque it down. That's the only reason I did that. But it looked like it would sit flush without, because when I first put that initial on, I forgot the spacers, and I'm like, oh, something's not right here. And yeah, so anyway, all right, let's get that in there across there, so you can adjust it this way. That brings it in, so forth, so forth. Okay, so it has a little bit of play. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it up kind of to where it's still kind of loose. Okay, to where the bolts and everything are just loose, and I'm going to tighten the bolts down first. Okay, and then I might take, and I'm just going to hand tight probably, you know, and if I can get something on it, maybe to tighten a little bit more, I'll try. But let's get these bolts tightened down first, and then we can come by and do the adjustments. All right, and there we go. On the rod itself. So what I did is I just took both hands and I snugged it up real tight. Okay, and that's all I really did, and then tightened all the bolts down and everything like that. So it looks like it's ready to go. Now their version, like I said, comes underneath right through here, and you know, between the fan blade and here, and where I don't have a fan blade, you know, I want to be able to kind of show it off a little bit too. So that's another thing. But like I said, if you had a big block, you could get some type of metal, you know, maybe C-channel or whatever, and make your own bracket that goes even further down or whatever to, you know, to make it work on the big block. So yeah, there's that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let down the car, and we'll go from there and see how much more or sturdy it is. Because right now, see, it's not even moving or nothing. It's tight. I just kind of realized something when I lower my car. This jack stand's not going to work. Because the side pipes kind of stick out a little too low, and they barely fit in as is. All right. So that's going to be something. Yeah, I think that's going to work. All right. Looks really good. Take it off the... Yeah, one more time. Looks really, really good. With all that engine pieces and everything like that. All right, let's see if we can take it for a spin and see if it makes any difference. course, I got new springs and shocks and stuff too coming. That was supposed to be the next surprise, because I did get lowering springs for the front. And then, of course, I'm getting new tires and everything like that, so we're going to dial it all in later on. I haven't been driving very far with this anyway. But the steering is a lot more, I have a lot more feel to the steering. It just feels tighter, you know. Responsive. I don't have to turn it as far to get that. That doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess that's how it works. This was definitely worth the upgrade. clutch linkage package that they have too, and that'll help with the clutch. They say that helps with the, you know, soften up the clutch a little bit. So that should be coming here in a couple of days. We'll see if that makes a difference.
that's really, really nice of them. Great customer service. You know, I might just go with all of their suspension later on. I don't know. You know, I want the Detroit Speed setup for both front and rear. I think that's the superior setup for what I'm wanting to do. But you know, money becomes tight. I'm just gonna do just the necessity suspension parts that I desperately need, and then we'll try and move up from there. Yeah, but not bad, boy. It's way tighter. Hey, look, I feel a lot more confident, you know, driving. Now, the only slop I have is in the steering box. You know, but I wanna go with rack and pinion setup with that and get rid of the steering box all completely together.
Okay, so after taking the first spin, you know, I am thoroughly impressed how much, well, I don't know what you call it, spreader bar, stabilizer bar, whatever you want to call it. I was really, really impressed. I mean, the steering was just, it was just really nice and tight. The wheels, you know, like you hit a bump, you don't feel like you're being pulled the one way or anything. It's overall, that's probably one of the better upgrades I've done. I mean, I didn't think a spreader bar would make that big of a difference, you know. And then, granted, okay, it's a convertible. Okay, so it is convertible. It's going to have a lot of that frame flex in the convertible. It's stiffened this sucker right up. I can't say about the coupes. You know, people say that they're a little bit more sturdy, but in a convertible, and with a little bit wider tire in the front stuff I have right now, man, it made a difference. The only slop I could really feel, and I know it's my steering box, because I've had the steering boxes like that, and you know, before, and you know, you replace them, or you know, maybe like you said with a Borgeson or something. But I want a rack and pinion, and the handling's just tightened it right up. There's really no play in the steering wheel. I was just really, really surprised. It's almost like it's a whole different car just from that spreader bar. I mean, it's not, but I mean, it just handles a lot better. Now, granted, I didn't take it up to high speeds. I didn't take it up to like 100 on the freeway or anything. You know, but still, I mean, it really, really drastically improved it. I'm just surprised. So if that's your cheap mod that you're going to do with a convertible, you know, do it. I mean, I couldn't, I don't know. I'm just kind of shocked a little bit. So it made a huge difference. The car feels like it's solid. When I was turning, you know, you before I could feel the flex a little bit. You know, I don't know how to explain it. I could feel it. Now I turn, it just feels like it's solid. It just feels like it, you know, felt more like when I had my C6 Corvette. Not quite there, but it really, really improved it. You know, and like I said, so I'm getting new, what was it, 550-pound springs on the front. That should lower it down to, you know, 3/4 inch. That should bring it down a little bit there. And then I got the composite rear leaf coming. So the composite rear leaf, you know, let's see, what pound did I get? 370? No, 360? 360 pound? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, not the stiffest, but the right up close to, you know. And new shocks. Just that alone, and with new tires and rims, this car should be completely different by the time I get all that done. It should handle completely different, and this is a good thing. Yeah, but I was just amazed at that little That spreader bar. Huge difference. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching me. I got some more stuff coming. I'll get more time to the back there. You know, I wanted to get the parts on first and see. I just kind of excited about it, so I wanted to get it done. So we'll get back to work on this another day. It's a little bit more in the evening, so I got plenty of time. But that's why I'm doing it kind of, you know, piece by piece, for I could keep driving it. And it's just not going to be in, you know, paint jail. So, all right, guys, catch you next time.